go and fill my water. Say thank you to my water. I'll be back in a sec. Kind of dropped. Indeed! And greetings unto you. Yes, you, beloved and holy friend. Our band is working so early. First try, Brother Bay. First try. I kind of like hit the go live button on my Reddit stream, as I like to do, kind of hit the live button, go and get the last of my stuff, and then come and sit down. And I was like, yo, let's hit the live button, see if it's actually gonna work. And then it works first time. And now here we are. We get to share this moment. Thank you, friends, for sharing this moment with me. Shannon is here. We get to share this moment. Thank you, friends, for sharing this moment with me. Shannon is here. We have Bethany Foster. Here we have Bethany Foster. Is that an Aunt B that I see? Thank you for joining us. Peace, love. I hope everyone has a beautiful day and makes a positive influence on the world in some kind of way. Is that Aunt B, or is it just Bethany Foster? It's Keeling, isn't it? Isn't Bethany Keeling? Maybe we have another Bethany. It's nice to have you here, Bethany. Thank you, friend. It's nice to have you here as well, Brother Ryan. Always a pleasure. I've been really... There we go. Aunt B is here on the Reddit as well. I'm not sure, though, which... If it's... I'm curious. It's Harley Q. Oh, hi! Harley Q! Goodness, it's been so long, friend. How nice of you to join us on the YouTube of all places. Not I. Okay, there we go. But now we know, Aunt B. Now we know we have more than one Bethany. How cool. So much love to you. Thank you for joining us. Is your actual name Bethany? For the longest time, and obviously this is my fault, but for the longest time I thought your name was Harley. Little did I know, my name is in fact also not actually Meltmore. Weirdly enough, when I went to my yoga training, I kind of introduced myself to the people that I was training yoga with, getting certified with rather, as Meltmore. And they were like, oh cool, Meltmore. Eccentric parents calls their child Meltmore. And I was like, oh no, my parents didn't give me that name. I gave it to myself. Would be pretty cool though. I've had this idea in my head since I was a 6-year-old boy that I want a son one day. And my mom kind of entertained that part of myself. She was like, oh yeah, you want a son one day? What are you gonna call your son one day? And as a 6-year-old, I proudly proclaimed, I'm gonna call my son Elkin. And I recently learned, recently is relative, but within the last year and a half or so, I learned that Elkin is a Jewish name for God created. And I was like, oh, neat. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my actual name, my actual surname to be Moore. Elkin Moore does sound pretty sick, Sounds like a superhero, super villain name, maybe. Not I. It's still nice to have you here, Aunt B. It's been far too long, and here we are now, friend. Despite all the far too long, here we are now. Yes, that is my real name. You're loved. Thank you. Do you want to be called Harley or Bethany? That's the real question. Thank you, friend. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. Thank you, Shannon and Nana. I appreciate you sharing some love, friend. What is our intention for today? So, space. My intention of the thing I want to talk about, the topic that I kind of find interesting, is this understanding that space and time, right? The space in which you are, looking around yourself, and the time in which you are right now. You can look at the clock or at your cell phone alarm. You understand these things in a rudimentary way, as in, oh, I am in America, oh, I am in South Africa. And you can understand time in a rudimentary way, as in, it is 10 minutes past 4. It might be earlier for you right now. But on the fundamental level, we cannot experience space or time if it wasn't for spirit intersecting nature, where nature is something that finds itself within space and time, but space and time only arises when there's awareness within that nature. So, right now, you, in this moment, are pulling space and time out of the infinity by incarnating, by embodying nature as a human being. Your awareness thereof, in my opinion, being the divinity that is you. So thank you, friend, for creating space and time here with me today. Hey, we have Who Needs Tears joining us as well. Whichever you feel drawn to. I feel drawn to calling you Bethany right now because that's the name I'm reading. So it would be less mental strain for me to remember. But I've called you Harley so many times that that's the fractal that I have of you in my mind. You know, seeing your kids, seeing your significant other, thinking about the adventures, let's call it, that you've had in your life. I love you, friend. Thank you for joining us again. It's nice to have you here. Man, space and time. We'll do just space. One of the intentions will be space. And we'll do like a Degas for time as well. On the other side. Space and time! And yet here you are, friend. Literally pulling space and time out of nothing. We'll do Degas to signify time. We'll do the teacher, Ansus. We'll do Orthero. And then we'll do Bjorth. That's the worst Bjorth I've ever made. Please don't curse me. Please. I tried. They're like, you haven't tried hard enough. I'm not. Maybe. It's good. Degas, Ansus, Orthro, Bjorth. As in day or dawn, enlightenment or light. Ansus being teacher or God. Eorth being coming to a close or to an end. And Bjorth being mystery or magic. Yeah! Did I miss? No. I really need to make a new account so I'm not doxing myself. But I haven't been on YouTube today. It's completely okay. I mean, you know, like yeah. Let me just say that I don't actually want to say what I want to say because this is something that I do in my life, and it's not necessarily something that I would recommend others do. And I don't know if it's going to sound like a recommendation if I say what I do with my life, but it basically signifies or it boils down to not caring. You Degas is my favorite. I have that one on a necklace. Of course it is, Lane. It's literally the symbol that I identify with as well as Meltmore, dude. And weirdly enough, the fact that the Degas symbol came to me before I even knew what the symbols were, dude. That shit trips me out. And the fact that you are drawn to the Degas symbol before I was probably, you know, even identified or drawn to the Degas symbol. How trippy, Lane. How trippy, dude. I genuinely believe that we are awakening, you know, that these versions of ourselves, Dry Historian, Lane, Aunt B, Brother Ryan, Shannon, Mariah, Bethany, of course, or in my mind, Harley. Who do we have here right now as well? Seems to be it. Mariah and, you know, Who Needs Tears. Like we are all these people, you know, these individuals, these experiencers of this side of the infinity. But not only that, we are in today's context drawing out of the infinity space and time by embodying nature, right? You can be a body. For instance, you could be a tree, and this is a little bit out there, but you can think of that tree as a living organism, right? And then you can also think of it as a conscious organism, as in if I were to build a wall suddenly right here, maybe we can do it like right here next to this plant. This plant could initially grow into the wall, but eventually it will realize, oh, there's a wall here, and the sun is coming from that side. So it self corrects, it kind of points itself towards the light. And that part to me is awareness, right? It is, instead of just kind of being and being in and of itself, there is a level of awareness that arises out of information being processed. And that information being processed, you, as the processor of that information right now, is eliciting, because of where you are, space and time. That awareness is, in my opinion, the part of ourselves that's divine, the part of ourselves that has power, if you will. And nature is the part of ourselves within which that power resides, almost to become embodied. And then when you become embodied in this way, you make space and time. Suddenly, now there is space for you. Because you know space in a way that I don't know space. You grew up in a space with parents who were in your space, with food that was in your space, with air, swimming, friends, in your space, in your time. You have had these moments elicited from the infinity, these space and time nodes. And now you're doing that with me as well. But instead of just doing it in a way where we're all kind of doing it for ourselves, we can elicit this moment of space and time, and we can gather, we can meet as a collective, as that same oneness within space of time coming together in space and time. I don't know if this is as feels as significant to you friends as it feels to me, but I'm trying. I'm really trying to get this understanding across. Space and time for soul and nature. I mean, it's super small, but soul and nature is on the outside, space and time is on the inside. Degas, Bjorth, Ansus, Perthro, no? Or Ortholox, or Ortholo. Man, I'm still learning these symbols, Lane. They're difficult to remember sometimes. Much love to you, Rambler. Even the Professor Goo. How cool. That's how I understood it. Degas, as in day, also as in new beginnings, a new day, as well as Ingus. Ingus is the I one. Very similar uses slash meanings. Weirdly enough, when I was at Christian's place, Lane, we had like a door facing a window, so there was always light shining through it, and the steam would kind of build up, and we would every single day make the Degas symbol, and then we would pull the Ingus symbol through it. And to me, it was this acknowledgement of I am Meltmore, I am Degas, I am the dawn, I am the light, and it's not coming from this place of only me. Of course not, very much not so. That's why I like to say that Melt More at this point to me, I am Melt and you friends are more. And then when we come into this space, we melt more. It's a collective effort. I wouldn't be able to melt more as I melt if it wasn't for you friends melting with me. Yes, words. Yes. Of course. Thank you, Lane, dude, for tuning into these streams, for tuning into these ideas with me, Brother Bear. What do you feel about space and time? In the joke, and we've had this conversation before, is that in our general consensus in science right now, we are starting to lose space and time as a fundamental, as in, for the longest time, our science, our biology kind of assumed that space and time are fundamentals of our reality. And now we're realizing that maybe it isn't. Maybe, just maybe, space and time doesn't exist outside of us. How about that? What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Morty? Space and time is an illusion. There's only you drawing space and time out of the illusion. Love and light to you, my friend, beaming directly to you. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for finding yourself in this space as well, beloved Professor Goo. So nice to have you. How are you doing, man? It was nice to hear your voice on the podcast a little bit ago. I honestly had a few actual stalker situations, one being this past week from someone local that found me on here. I want to not care, but I think about my family. And I feel that completely. And that's why I was so hesitant in talking about it on B, because I am 100% naive. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a mother. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid on B. So that's why I know I can't tell you friends anything. I can just share from my experience, and you friends can take what you want from that experience. Fortunately, the reason I was willing to say something about it at all on B was because of this experience that I had while I was in China. I posted my first videos to my Meltmore account while I was still in China, and it wasn't exactly extreme enthusiasm for the way China is and the way we were supposed to live in China. And I kind of, at that point in my life, tried to do as much as I could to get exposure, get noticed. So I would go onto these Reddit sites where you would have people that would help you, like view for view. I don't even know what this, like, I deleted that information from my brain, unfortunately. But I remember posting this link, while I was in China, kind of, lamenting, to be completely honest. And then I share the link to this video on Reddit, and then one of the Reddit people gave me an extreme sense of paranoia when he was like, "Oh, congratulations, you just doxed yourself talking shit about the Chinese economy or the CCP while still being in China. You know, good luck getting out of the gulags or something like that." And I was like straight up tripping out. I was like stressing. I was like, "Yossi, oh, is this? Am I gonna get gulagged now?" And the weirdest part is as well, a bunch of stuff ended up happening after I posted those videos. None of it was related to the videos, but I did have, in quotation marks, run-ins with the law because my visa expired. Yeah. So after that whole exchange on B, I've had a very hard time getting involved again in this feeling of being scared of being doxxed or someone finding me. Man, the wind is not gonna allow me to do what I want to do. I'm gonna try. Within space and time, I have a lighter that does not work. This is what we call a Yasi Bobasi. Extreme Yasi to my Bobasi. You know what? I'm gonna calm down and read some comments instead. Much love to you, Rambler. Oh, scary. Sorry that happened. Me too. I know it's possible. I know it's a possibility getting on the internet, but it's scary when it actually happens that someone is tracking you down. I don't understand why people would do that though. I wonder if it's a mental issue. Like I've never in my life thought to myself, man, I really like this content creator. Let me go and ruin their lives, or by literally stalking them at their homes. Oh, this person, I love this person so much. They have done so much for me in the form of creating something that I enjoy watching. Let me go and ruin the relationship that even wasn't. No, I should just do that. Are you serious? Is my lighter actually dead right now? What's happening? We're gonna win. We're gonna win. I have incarnated into space and time to experience this space and this time and everything that arises within this space and this time. Mm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Acknowledging space and time, acknowledging nature and spirit, acknowledging yourself drawing space and time out of nature and spirit. Mm. Can we come and sit on me? Yeah, you can come and sit on me. You silly, silly thing. And you go, sweetie duty. Keeps me from streaming, but hopefully we're straightening it out. On beat, yo, my mind is going a bunch of places right now. You know, I'm thinking about the fact that you live in Texas at least. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done. It's never happened to me. It's like the biggest fear, honestly. I don't know if I'm too scared of it, but I'm. The only reason I'm not scared of it is because I believe in my own ability, and I'm also not scared of dying. So it kind of skews my being scared of it. But I think I'm not scared of it necessarily, but I would be like, Yasi, dude, that's a yikes. You know, if someone shows up to your house, it's like, no, dude, mm-mm. This behavior is not okay. You know, like what if I showed up to your house just unannounced? Like even if you're not creating content, you know, you just don't do that. You don't even do that to friends. So why would you do it to me? I wish someone would stalk me. Not really though. Internet people are weird. PK, I'm kind of curious about why that happens in the first place. You know, that's where I'm gonna focus some of my attention is what compels you to do such a thing. Is it loneliness? Is it wanting that friendship? Is it believing the energy you get watching someone live is going to be equal to the energy you'll get seeing them in person? Is it a logical fallacy? Is it someone not actually thinking things through properly and creating for themselves a sense of separation by being illusioned? Man, I didn't really think I was going to think about this today. The internet is crazy sometimes. Oh, yes. Is that a South African accent? It is. Earthchild adornments. It is South African indeed. Yes, he is a springbok. I don't think I've ever heard someone call me that, but that's a new one. Thank you, PK. Whichever you feel drawn to. Morning. Again, love to you, Mariah Fjord. Favorite Batman quote: the difference between you and I is I am not wearing hockey pads. Is that from the new Batman movie? Oh geez, let's carry on. B, at a stalker situation. I didn't even hear about this. Sounds like a conundrum. And Mariah is like has this one gun, the conundrum gun, you know, and everything looks like a conundrum target. She's like, where am I gonna conundrum next? Thank you for the love, Mariah. We have Nancy joining us as well, saying, "Hey, Mel, hello everyone, happy Friday, love to you all." So I did kind of set up my stream in order to be caught by, or to be shielded rather, by that shadow. But I happen to have sit in front of this thing, and I can't go back any further. So I'm not in the shadow. So I'm going to tilt myself or shift myself a little bit to the side so that I can have the sun not in my face. Yes, that sounds like a vibe to me. Okay. Yes, better? Little bit. My hair is helping. Okay. Get my pass myself my joint. Pass myself my little book of things worth saying. I haven't even poured myself a glass of water yet. Maybe we'll read something worth saying, just so that we can tune into that frequency a little bit as well. This book. Say yes to life that you are willing to let the fullness of it wash through you and carry you into an ever deepening understanding. The understanding of all that infinity is. We abide in the knowing that we live, yet not us, but our Creator. Our awareness lives as us. Cool, I'm from South Africa too, but living in the US now. Lucky fish, dude. How has it been? How's the US economy treating you? How has it been transitioning from the South African economy to the American economy? If you're still here, you're totally fine, Mel. I'm only justifying my fear. I'm not saying that your fear is unjustified either, Uncle B. So much love to you, friend. I'm just tuning into that frequency with you, feeling with you, seeing how I feel about it, noticing, noticing all of the mental undulations that comes along with it. Pouring ourselves some Ermius Blur. I'm well, thank you. Always a pleasure to share neural pathways with you. What a cool way to say it. We're not sharing conversations. We're sharing neural pathways. I don't know if you've heard me say this, Uncle. No, Professor Goo. Professor Goo and Uncle Becky live in the same fractal in my head. But I say fractal. Like it's like a neural pathway, but that neural pathway I see as instead of seeing it as a continuum or seeing it as an entity moving throughout a system, I see the entire activated system behind it, right? So if a thought, and this is definitely not how it works, but let's imagine if a thought is a electron going from one synapse to another to another to another, creating a kind of pathway. If that is the thought, instead of just seeing the little electron going through the synapses as a neural pathway, as you mentioned, right? Sharing that little neural pathway, walking hand in hand on this neural pathway, I imagine myself trying to share the entire little fractal with you. And if I show you the fractal, if I show you a tree in the same way, for example, if I show you my works of art that I make every day, me and you see things completely differently. We are still seeing the same tree, the same, flower, whatever. But the way that it's interpreted is completely unique because you are a unique fractal generator infinity in and of yourself. But I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Professor Goo, for letting me say that as well, friend. So much love to you. Lurky turkey breaking. Silence for a group hug. At first, I saw like a pickaxe, and then I was like, "What is this actually?" And then it kind of transformed. This part closed up on top of itself, and it turned into like a Big Ben-esque looking building, but it was made out of this white, bluish, yellowish, glowing, almost too bright to look at light. Thank you for sharing that group hug with us, friend. Hugs to you. I'm in Joe Group Hugs. Thank you for the love, friends. So nice to see it. And definitely justified. It is absolutely the right story. And we have Miss Dabs joining us as well. It's nice to have you, friend. Face the other direction or go into the wind. It helped. It helped. Thank you, PK. I felt I just had to tune into a level of calmness before I could properly light it. The wind was kind of like creating some mental perturbance, but instead of like focusing on the intentions that I've set, I was more focusing on actually getting it lit. And that is not the intention, right? The intention isn't to get high. The intention isn't to smoke the joint. The intention is to focus on what spice and time means to us, space and time means to us, and how, as awareness, being within nature elicits the experience of space and time. It's like the infinity symbol makes the infinity symbol, but there are these two spaces within the infinity symbol that is created as a result of that. So that space that is created, the one space is the space of space. The other space is the space of time. And they're kind of they influence one another. But if you create more space, with more space, you can also think of it as more mass. With more mass, time literally gets wonky to the point where there's like time dilation if you fall into a black hole, for example, because there's so much space, there's so much mass that time shifts. So within that infinity, it's like wonky. And you being in the middle of that is the one that elicits that time and space, to the point where if I go on some crazy space expedition and we can travel at, absurd times, time will literally pass quicker for you than it does for me being in the vehicle traveling that fast. Because within that moment, as I'm traveling through space and time, I elicit what space and time actually is. And space and time then changes for me, even though it doesn't change for everyone else. And I think the new Buzz Lightyear movie actually kind of went into experimenting with that idea a little bit. Hey, it's a gobbity goobity saying jooby jobby, jobber jobbed. Bye. Boopy boop. Love you. Thank you for the love, Jovan. Meep morp. Morph move. Meep morp morph move. Meep morp meep morp morp. Morp neep neep morp. Morph neep neep morp morp morp. Morp morp morp. Space and time, yo. Hmm. I agree. Little burb. Space and time is pretty wacky, dude. The ability to hear things, having an atmosphere. How cool. Air everywhere. Face the other direction. It's an absolutely a mental issue. Definitely is. I'm sure you're strong enough though, on B. It's gonna happen, friend. It's what we've kind of, invited into our lives. It's the world we're creating for ourselves right now. But I do believe that the people we're creating this space for are people like us, respectful respectful individuals. So it might be the case, but it won't be the truth. How about that, Auntie? And the truth will still be love, technically, behind that, whole conundrum as well. I said the word. Did you hear, Mariah? Conundrum. Very much love. Just putting that out there. Melt your eyes are extra shiny today. Are they? Suddenly looks at my own eyes. It's kind of weird looking at your own eyes like this because we're used to looking at our own eyes in the mirror. So it feels like this for me to look myself in my own eyes. But now I'm looking myself in my eyes like this. Yeah, it's new vibes. Uncle Becky, y'all got any of that wholesome vibes around these parts? Let me just. Here you go, brother bear. Got you some wholesome vibes. We're smoking a joint for space and time, and technically the paper has soul and nature on it. And then we had space as a big intention, and then we had degas, which can be seen as an hourglass signifying time. We did the finality rune symbol, we did the teacher rune symbol, and we did the mystery or magic rune symbol. So a bunch of magic in this joint. Sending all the good vibes to you, Brother Bear. Thank you for tuning in for some. Throws a lasso into the darkness. Gotcha! I mean, technically, yes. On a very real note, right, Mariah? I mean, within the lasso, if you're going to throw a lasso into the infinity, in this moment, those words, the imagination of that lasso can quite literally hit Uncle Becky right now because he's in earshot of being lassoed. Does that make sense? Or am I slowly losing my mind? Both? Okay, yeah, cool. Space and time. Soul intersecting nature, eliciting space and time. And there's so many bugs in my water. Soul intersecting nature to create space and time. You see, I kind of came with this interpretation of those words, thinking of the human being as that. Oh goodness, those last puffs are kicking my ass. Mmm. But now everything is that. It's almost like it's a unity within the duality where everything that is manifest in my environment right now, I'm looking at the trees very specifically right now. They are also nature being intersected by spirit. Because nature in and of itself is kind of inert. It's dead. And there's a lot of it. And then nature becomes embodied by spirit, by the dance, by the creator is a word for it as well. And then we find things like trees, fractal reality. And we can express these things in mathematics. And that mathematics becomes, reduced back into patterns. And these patterns make up the fabric of our reality as we understand it. Everything we do, everything you've done, being one of these little fractals, one of these little patterns. And for the longest time, we've been doing these patterns mindlessly, right? And I don't want to say that trees are mindless, but a tree just kind of trees, and it is aware still. I do believe that because it can be aware of a wall, and it can adjust its growth pattern depending on that obstacle. But is it doing so mindfully? Is it being like, what a bummer, this wall is in my way, damn it, I wish this wall wasn't in my way, nah, 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 nah. I don't think it does that. I just kind of think it's like, oh, obstacle, I'm going to continue past it. And it's something that I think Ram does. Was it Ram does? I think was something Ram does shared. Where he mentioned that you should look at people in the way that you look at trees. Where if you look at a tree, and again using this example of the wall, if you look at a tree and you see it growing out of the ground and just kind of going lopsided one side, growing away from the wall, you look at that and you instantly recognize why it did that. Why it is lopsided right now, why it grew in the way that it did, why it is in that shape, why it became that expression of the infinity within its finite environment. But we don't do the same thing for people because it's not as easy. The fractal is still there, but it's just not as easy because you can't see how people were treated by their family members, by their parents, by their siblings, by their peers in school, by their colleagues. We don't know. And people behave in certain ways, grow in certain ways, sometimes in lopsided ways, because of the barriers, the walls that they have in front of them. And it might be, again, with the amount of love that a family member gave. Maybe there was a wall built between the person and the family member in the amount of love that they were able to receive, or there were walls built that had to be transcended, melted through before they were allowed certain things. Oh, you're not an A student all the way through. Now you don't deserve our affection or us being proud of you because you're not this idea we have of what a good child is. And we all become what we've become because of everything that has happened to us. And the same way, that is the truth about trees. I feel, coming back full circle to the mentality of it, the difference is that we get to choose. That yes, it's true that we grow in certain ways because of our environments, because of where we found ourselves. And when it comes to looking at people, it can be beneficial to do it in that way because you can have this sense of, understanding, compassionate understanding when looking at them. Instead of finding fault, you find understanding. But when it comes to ourselves, it's okay sometimes to look at yourself with that understanding, but it becomes a problem when you label yourself. If you understand it and you're like, okay, this is why I have this behavior, this is how I react because of this behavior, but that is just the way that I am. That's just me, and there's nothing that I can do about that. That I've noticed never serves me because it's a self-limiting belief. Every single self-limiting belief is ultimately toxic. And I feel that's why I've gone again to the radical other side of it, of believing that we are infinite. And it doesn't have to be true. It can be an ultimate statement that allows you to find balance within yourself. And that ultimately is what we're doing, literally just by existing, finding balance within infinity, nature being embodied by spirit. And as a result of that balance, the balance that is space and time arises as well. And who knows what else? Who knows what else? What a buttload. I think I missed a few. Yay, a buttload. Yeah, they give it the bay. Throws so. I recently expressed my love to someone who doesn't feel like it'd be a good partner. He told me here, he told me he didn't have a good example of what a good relationship is and makes commitment difficult for him. It goes to what you're saying, how it's like trees or environment. It skews how we grow. It shapes who we are. And I'm so happy that you share that example, Who Needs Tears. Thank you so much for contributing, friend, because that's it. You know, sure, he grew in a certain way. He had a wall in his life when it comes to his relationships and how a relationship is supposed to look like. And he became a certain type of person because of that. But now it is his choice whether or not he wants to keep that wall there. It is his choice whether or not he wants to continually upkeep said wall. Every single time there's a little crack in the wall melts a little bit. He's like actively trying to rebuild it, just putting down mortar. Like, yes, these things happen to us. We got hurt by relationships. We believed with everything in our hearts, and it wasn't what we thought it was gonna be. And it can make us bitter and can make us angry. Or we can learn from this experience and know how to be differently going forward, how to continue growing. Because that's the only thing that we can lean into. Continually growing, keep showing up for love. Literally, it's kind of, to me at this point, it's simple. It's simple with the amount of complexity that you can solve with it. It's like a mathematical equation to me. Like love equals true. So within code, like, oh yeah, want true statements, you just enter love. That's the one that it kind of derives to. Absolutely 100% agree. It is a choice we make to change or not, and to grow in ways that we feel is good to us, literally. And I see so many people choosing, literally choosing to continue living in ways, interacting in ways that do not benefit them, that do not elicit good life experiences. But who am I to say, right? Again, because that their life experience is again just as worthy of being lived as any other life experience. It's just about the fractal that they're choosing within the fractal that they are. And it's an active choice. It's an active choice. Brother Ryan and me had a cool conversation last night, and something that he shared to me is this tick revolving system. And I don't exactly know all of the steps, but it basically boils down to noticing how you react in certain situations, environments, of things being said to you, listening to the person as they're saying it to you, identifying how your ego gets involved, identifying how it's a threat to you, identifying what would happen if the statement was true, even going as far as to tell the person that the statement they made is true, and then to really kind of reflect on all of these behaviors and then see how you could be differently, noticing the fractal that you participated in a moment, kind of like really consolidating it. You're like maybe aware of a river, but you really sit down and you draw the river. Now you get to see the river, and you get to maybe choose to dig a new trench to make a different river next time. I don't know if this is making any sense, but it's kind of again alluding to this understanding that we can either claim to be victims to the ways that we've been brought up, to the walls we had as little trees growing into the world, or we can choose to break the walls. We can choose to melt through these barriers that we've imposed upon ourselves, that other people have imposed on us. Even worse. Definitely know someone like that. I was like that too, though. Having a handful of mental health diagnosed, I really thought, oh, okay, this is just how I am, and that's that. And the thing is, as well, Shannon, I feel not only do we do that on a mental level, but we know now that we can even not just be who we are on a genetic level. And that might be a contrived sentence. What I mean is, we convince ourselves because of mental stuff that we are this way and we can never change. Believing that our bodies is one of the stable parts of ourselves, our DNA is one of the stable parts of ourselves. But now we know that we can literally upregulate our genetic expression as well. So not only are you not just who you are, but there is this infinite, latent, untapped potential within you that you are still going to yet become, and you can literally lean into that part of yourself, become more of yourself. And I believe Joe Dispenza goes into detail about this in the book of, the habit of breaking the habit of being yourself. It's kind of, this understanding as well, is that we are not victims. We are not imprisoned within our mental stories, within our conceptual societal norm expectations, that we are this experiencer. On the most fundamental of levels, we are aware. And that awareness doesn't care. And doesn't care not in a place of, indifference, but in a place of extreme love. So much love that it will bear witness to everything. Everything. Actually, everything. The actual infinity. You. Awareness. It's a trip. It's a trip, and I'm ceaselessly just melting, trying to understand. And the more I understand, the more I realize you're never gonna understand. And then I'm like, but I want to understand. And it's like, no, you cannot. You can't. And I'm like, but I want to. Please. Little bit. Yeah, okay, fine. Here. What does this mean? I told you, you can't understand. Oh, goodness. One lesson that I have drilled into myself is not from anyone else. Never stay set in your ways. Keep an open mind. Pay attention. Pay attention. And I feel that open mind is that love, Mariah. So thank you for sharing that. It's again you being so aware, you being that ultimate awareness that can bear witness no matter the circumstance, no matter how bad things get, no matter how good things get, whatever the interpretation, is just going to be aware and happy and loving of that experience. This is the most unfortunate thing with my friend, is that he constantly blames his parents for how he is. His dad told me one day that we all have our baggage and we can all blame our parents for who we are. His dad said at some point, you have to just get over it. You can't hold on to that forever. Keeping an open mind is a clutch. Keeping an open mind is clutch, Mariah. Forever, an open mind. The thing is, as well, if you close your mind, you're closing your mind on a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction, you know, literally minuscule amount of information. And the amount of information that we have not only is infinite, but it is infinitizing actively. There are more people having access to more information. More access to information means that they have more, almost like data to work with in their neural network of ideas, of inspiration, of creativity. And then that means they bring out more knowledge from the infinity, which means there's more knowledge of an infinity, which means more people get more knowledge. That's what the whole idea of the singularity, you know? That's literally what it is, because it goes down to the point of quantum and artificial intelligence, and we're going there. Like, we're probably going to see it in our lifetimes. That's the wild thing about the time we're alive in right now. We're not we're not going to be victims to it though. We have to keep our minds open. That's the only way, because this is what we're allowing. It's going to be expansionist or contractory, and it's going to be fear or love. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Do you want to try and stay frozen? No, can't be. It's hard to sit back and watch as others make the decision of settling with discomfort. But I'm often reminded that it is their mountain to climb. Exactly, Jovan. Not only is it their mountain to climb, but maybe they want to sit and like splash in the mud. You know? Mud all over the face and stuff, you know. Maybe that's what they want, and you can be like, oh, dude, like we're just starting to climb the mountain. Oh, like you're gonna freeze with all of that mud on you, and they're like, no, mud. And I mean, I've done that. Literally, that was me as a child. Literally, just freaking mudding myself. I was I love the earth. I still do. So much. So it's not for us to say what experience is worthy or not worthy of being had. And we can't take anything away from someone. We can just show people that we're there for them. All I know is that I don't know nothing. Sang Operation Ivy. It's a good one still. Thank you for sharing it with us. Who needs tears? I sometimes feel like I can only encourage what they're receptive to, and I'm not right. Just an extra layer of perspective. That is it, literally, Jovan. Thank you for sharing that as well, friend. We have Brother Wyzik saying, "Good day to you, my friends and light bearers. Exciting day. We're packing up to go and camp. It has been too long. I cannot wait to get out there. Dude, have an amazing time. You're taking little Scott with you as well. I think he's going to be vibing. How is he? Has his issues been resolved? I do hope so, dude. I haven't heard you complain about it again, so I'm blessing, friend. Hoping that you're not dealing with the brutal stuff anymore. People becoming addicted to life they don't even like. People becoming addicted to their understanding of being a victim, you know? Like literally having told people a story, how you have been wronged. And then people responding in a way, oh no, this happened to you? And then becoming addicted to that, where it's like, oh, people are paying attention to me when I'm telling them how bad things are in my life. That is who I am, becoming identified with your pain and then perpetuating it. Oh, my dad, completely ruined my life, and I hate myself, and I'll never be a good dad myself because of my dad. And I'm like doing this to kind of call myself out as well. I don't know if I go that far. I don't blame my dad for anything. I I do pay attention to how he makes me feel though, and I feel like our dads can make us feel a bunch of ways, but I don't blame him for the way that I am. And if anything, I thank him for the way that I am. I don't think I would be as much of a person, and that sounds a little bit yikes to say, but I don't think I would be as much of a person if it wasn't for how much of a person my dad is, to say it in that way. Hi, Isaac, being greeted by Shannon. Thank you, friend. Giovanna, it's a great perspective to have. Can't help anyone climb a mountain, that's for sure. It's true. Second that, Joe. So much love. None, another one of those good nuts. I'm laughing so hard, wanting to sit and splash in the mud. I mean, what? I was there, so I completely understand it. That's the beauty of it. Who needs tears? He's been good. Only things being a bit anxious around new people since he's home alone with me all the time. Given an hour or so, though, he totally warms up. I just know he's gonna love camping. It's gonna be a literal whole new universe for him, dude. You are his whole world, Isaac, and you're going to, as his world, take him into the world, and he's going to love you for that. I love you for that, man. He's got a new outdoor pillow to lay on in the woods, though. I'm going to roll some joints, prep some pancake mix for breakfast with bacon and eggs. Isaac, you are quite a person, dude. Thank you for loving yourself and your loved ones enough to prepare for the future. Being grateful for our parents is definitely a glorious place to arrive to. It is. Who needs tears? I'm actively grateful for my dad. You know, I feel 95% of my. Take this little out and you look at it from a two-dimensional axis, and then you can see, man, I think my YouTube, the Reddit stream just dropped. Then you can see this little fractal in this two-dimensional slice, and then you take that texture and you place it on top of a three-dimensional self-transforming shape, and then it kind of takes all of that data and tries to integrate it again. Yes. Yeah, of course. Of course. I don't know if any of this is still working. The Reddit just dropped. I don't know if the YouTube is actually live or if it's just telling me it's live, because it did do a little bit of a disconnection thing before. Do let me know, friends. You let me know if we're still live. We have Peppy here on our lap this whole time still. Little sweetie heart. Hmm. Okay, now we have even less friends watching. Gotta go, guys. Nice day. Have a nice day, friend. Oh, yeah, pancakes. There we go. Okay. Now it's working again. It seems we had some connection issues. Yeah. Welcome back. Thank you, Jovan. I'm happy that you're letting me know that I am actually seen. I did kind of do like a going out and going back in again just to make sure that I can see the comments and stuff. Okay. I'm gonna pull a card. See what the universe has to say when it comes to sacred geometry. Sure. I can work with it. I ended up fixing my cards yesterday. Fixing is relative. Doing like CPR on my cards yesterday. But now they shuffle easier as well. They don't get catched by the little gaps they have in themselves. They might, do it again. But why am I having a hard time wording right now, Shannon? What's happening? Maybe we're just winding down. Yes. Maybe I shouldn't be wording. Maybe we should just breathe. Another card that needs to be fixed. I like this spot to stream from. I'm feeling a bit off today. Healing Waters is now healed, very much so, perfectly so. It's okay to feel off sometimes as well, Shannon. You know, it's not okay to allow that off feeling to be used by our imposter monster. Imposter monster, as Jovan likes to say. Because your imposter monster will try and use these off feelings to tell you that, yeah, look at this. All of this work you've been doing, on yourself. Look, it's for nothing because you still feel bad sometimes. Yeah, of course. You think it's gonna be that easy? Oh, I'm gonna work on myself and then I'll just never feel bad again. Yeah, right. It's when you feel bad that you can do the most work on yourself. Don't shy away from it, Shannon. getting better at feeling versus being versus just feeling better, right? Or actively getting better at feeling. Even within the not good feels, we can feel better in the not good feels. I feel like I've allowed myself to, at least. I've been very aware in a way where I'm trying to move past it and still kind of struggling sometimes, where I'm like, yeah, okay, I feel this way. Now can we be done with this feeling? And then it's like, no, because clearly you want to be done with the feeling. And I'm like, oh, come on. Nope, you're not learning the lesson. I'm like, fine. One breath at a time. So much love to you, friend. I think I'm just tired. I really realize it's almost August. Yeah, where did this year go? You're right. The 7th month of this year is almost gone. Goodness. Time flies when we're having fun, or something like that, right? Uh, those those imposter monsters, and I know, and I can feel as I was like talking about this, you understanding exactly what I'm talking about, Jovan, because we're all facing these things. The together card was at the bottom, but I accidentally saw it as I was these cards. Those days where we allow ourselves to recognize the passage of time, super wild, every time. Anytime we think that what does the fox say came out over 10 years ago, time is weird. Time is weird, and yet time doesn't exist. It has only been now. You have only been now, eliciting this moment, intersecting space with your spirit. And as a result of you intersecting space with your spirit, you have this time, this nature. Mm. Ho'oponopono sunset, as we have the sun setting just next to us. Maybe I should do this. You like that? You like that? This is what the card looks like. I don't know if that's gonna help a lot for visibility when it comes to the card, but got the infinities on both sides. For me, it's like, yeah, space, time, spirit, nature, and then the middle of it being this sunset. Those are also cool plants. They are cool plants. Like, I feel I've been really almost manically giving things water. I want things to be uber green this summer. I want things to be so green that, like, I don't know, I should have like a some sort of visceral neurochemical peak hit. My brain is just like, yes, nature too, suddenly here now. Does that make any sense at all? I don't know if it does. I just want things to be green, beautifully so. Not only for me but for you friends as well. It kinda bothers me that things are so gray looking here right now. It's like want some life. Want a little life. So this card, and I'm going to let you literally look at this sunset as I read this for you. Card number 16. Harmony and right action. This card joins two powerful traditions. From the Hindu tantric tradition comes the geometry of the Sri Yantra. That's the symbol in the center of this card. Its 9 interlocking triangles form a powerful meditation symbol that is said to encapsulate the entire universe in a single geometric visualization. From the ancient Hanu tradition of Hawaii, ho, ho, ho. I don't know if you say it that way. Ho apostrophe O. Ho, O? Pono Pono is reviewed as a means to bring harmony and be in right action with the ancestors, or to make things right with the people with whom you have relationships. It is intent, its intent is to correct the wrongs that have occurred in one's life. This card acknowledges your intent to create a life of freedom from guilt, shame, and blame. It asks you to meditate on the people and events in your life and to search for understanding of what you need to know to bring them into harmony and right action. Seek harmony within first, then open to communicate, then open to communicating with others in a manner that will bring greater understanding and harmony to all. You may enjoy and offer this sunset prayer, definitely. As we're sharing this sunset, please, I forgive myself and all beings for all misthought words, actions that have occurred in this day and in my life. I acknowledge that the universe is unlimited potential and all is transpiring in perfect divine order in my life at this time. Hmm. In this space, in this moment. Achoo! Achoo, puppy! There's nothing but green at my windows. I love it. I'm like, I can see it, Shannon. I can literally see it, you know. I'm, I might be seeing it in imagination mostly, but I feel I can see it through your eyes. Thank you for seeing that with your eyes. A warm hug of a card to pull, too. This card acknowledges your intent to create a life of freedom from guilt, shame, and blame. Just that. Acknowledging that we're trying to create for ourselves a life that is free of guilt, shame, and blame. To not have to blame someone, a boss, a family member, a situation for an understanding. To not be ashamed for what you're doing, for how you're spending your time. To not feel guilty about existing, taking up space, not feeling guilty for enjoying a meal, not feeling guilty for making yourself a cup of coffee. Creating a life that is free from guilt, shame, and blame. Like, what else do we want to create? If we get to create anything within space and time as spirit intersecting nature, that is something worthy of being created. Hmm. Thank you, Melt. Gee, thank you, Shannon. Thank you, beloved friend. Shannon's, you've mentioned your greenery before, and I feel warmth brings you so lovely. Have you not seen it, Jovan? Shannon, please, please, you have to show Jovan your scenery. I think she would definitely vibe. It really, really does. I feel so much comfort being amongst the trees and being surrounded by the greens. Please, Shannon, send Jovan a photo of your space. I mean, just like the little balcony photo that you sent me before. I'm going to go and give water back to the universe. I'll let you friends be with the sunset. Like we're gonna stay until that sun is over the horizon. I feel like if we pulled the sunset card, we can't not watch the sunset. That would be like spitting in the face of the universe or something. There we go. Thank you so much, Shannon. Super noise. I'm gonna nab myself two sunsets today. Who could say that? Huh, Jovan? Think about that. Like, really, think about that. Within all of human history, how many human beings could actually say that in one day they saw two sunsets? And they they saw two sunsets set on the same day as well. So it's not even like they saw two sunsets, one on like a movie of some other day. You actually got to see the sunset twice on the same day. Diana, beloved friend, so nice to see you here with us. Thank you for joining us for this little sunset. We're about winding down on the stream. So happy to take this moment with you all, watching our source of life do its beautiful thing. Just doing its beautiful thing, dude. Our Earth just humbly rotating away from its ever present light. You know, there's a definite reason why so many previous religions, or I don't know exactly know if religion is the right word even, previous civilizations maybe held the sun in deified regard. Grateful to be sharing this moment with you. So grateful to have you here with us as well, Shannon. Thank you, friend. You're making this moment with us. This is a moment that we get to collectively share right now. We get to breathe, get to listen to birds. I don't know if the sprayer, we call it a sprayer, is distracting. To me, it sounds like water falling on the earth right now. That's what that sounds mean to me. I've been trying to give as much water as I possibly can to the plants, especially the grass. I've been moving that thing around. So I'm gonna let it water on that little spot a little bit more. And then after the sun sets, I'm gonna move it to another spot, water it for a few hours tonight, and then I'll come and disconnect the water line. The grass is gonna be green. It's not gonna be greener on the other side of the fence. It's gonna be green on our side of the fence. People are gonna want to come and play on our grass. Yes. Diana, thank you for the love. Shannon, love you. Diana. Pipper watching the sunset with us. She is. She is. Gently being so beautifully in this presence with us. I put you on my TV, Melt. What a difference in experience. How cool. Now it almost feels like you're watching more, like you're watching through a window instead of like a, you know, like I'm imagining the difference being between like you're peeking through a door hole versus the door actually being open. Door hole, keyhole, excuse me. Mm, I mean, a door hole used to exist before we had like those little peeping lenses. We had like actual holes in our door. I had like a little door in front of itself. That's exactly what it's like. I love that. Thank you. I feel like the greenery is like creating cool textures as well in the shot, like these big sharp pointy ones and then like smaller pointy ones, and then this one has like a cool texture to it as well where it creates almost like a stickiness, yes. And then the leafy trees on the other side creating some fluffiness as well. All of the textures of nature as it gets intersected by spirit. All of it serving a function, create an experience. I love sunsets. This is just magical. Thank you so much for joining me for it, Diana. I think sunsets are magical, but I feel the thing that makes it truly magical is the fact that we can elicit that experience from it. I recently learned that brown bears actually do that. They will go out of their way to go and sit next to a river and watch the sunset, for no other reason, at least perceived, for no other reason than just watching the sunset. So I'm pretty sure that the true magic is in that, again, that spirit, observing through nature, observing nature. That wherever your soul decided to intersect, this physical, natured experience is where your time and space arose. And if your time and space arises from the experience of being a bear or being a puppy dog, doesn't make it any more valuable or any less valuable than any other experience. We get to see unique paintings every single moment of every day. Yes, Isaac, man, I'm so happy that you feel that as well, friend. Literally, wherever you look, a divinely unique, ever changing picture, of things that are alive that fly in and out of the picture. It is gorgeous. Walking through an interactive art museum, man. Isaac, you're making me happy, dude. I've had like this whole conversation at a music festival with a friend where he went as far as to say that we're literally works of art to some sort of higher dimensional entities. That scene by scene, moment by moment, we're being these works of art for higher dimensional beings to look down upon and observe in like awe and fascination of the beauty of the creator that is us as the creator right now. I love catching the birds, watching from the treetops during sunsets, right before they fly home for the evening. Experiencers, nodes of the eye awareness, just as burbs. Puppy, you playing with your little toy? You being a sweetie? So cutie patootie. I think I'm gonna turn the water off for a few moments just so we can like really listen to the birds. Adar he blows. You want to see a life hack? Now we're gonna get ourselves sunset to a little bit more of a sunset at least. I don't know if the wide lens looks that great. Let's switch it around for a second. Excuse the close up. I feel so calm and peaceful right now. With so much love in my heart for all of you. I can feel it, Shannon. Thank you for sharing love, friends, for being in these moments with me, for sharing this fractal with me. You know, all of us coming from the same source, having parents, and then we grow in our own directions and we become so intricate, so vast, so complicated. And we get to share in the beauty of our complexity, each of us being beautifully divine, beautifully defined, you know, nothing to be judged, just presence to be seen, just genuine presence. Huh? So much presence. So much presence in you. Oh, so much presence. Oh, you get him. Yeah, you get him. 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 How are we this lucky? Oh, thank you, beloved friends. You're like family to me. You're like family to me, Diana. What's the difference? Is there a difference? Like honestly, I don't know if there is a difference. I feel family are people that you want to slash like to spend time with. You're family to me, friends. Thank you so much for joining me on the farm again today. Letting me share some of the shenanigans of life. How blessed. How blessed are we? I'm gonna come and get your thing. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Oh, I'm gonna come and get it. Oh, I'm gonna come and take it from you. Oh, I'm gonna take it. Oh, no, I'm gonna take it from you. I'm gonna take it. Oh, I'm gonna so take it. Oh, I told you. Oh, I'm gonna take it from you. Oh, I'm gonna take it. I love you, friends, so much. Blessings. Blessings unto you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again very soon. Have a gorgeous day, everyone. I love you also dearly, Melt, and all of you wonderful friends. Love you. Bye, everyone. See you again soon.